Ken Rashad at 2024 SWAC Football Media Day. We're joined by Grambling State University head football coach Mickey Joseph. Coach Joseph, talk about the journey so far since you stepped foot back on Grambling's campus and what your expectations are going into the 2024 season.
Well, you know, one thing was the first 90 days on the job. You know, we wanted to get to know the players, get the staff in, get to know the administration. You know, then get into the offseason, evaluate the young men, get them in spring practice, evaluate them to make a decision on what we was going to do after that. But, you know, our expectation is every time we hit the field, our goal is just to improve. And we always talk to the players about once you get off the field, now you can't get that day back. So we don't want to have any wasted days. So we want to stack days here at Grambling.
Would you look at, with the roster that, and the talent that you currently have or expected to come into this season, would you look at this as a complete overhaul from last season, or what would you say is in terms of percentage?
Well,
how much different is this roster?
I think it's almost an overhaul. You know, and I think that's happened around college football. But I think what we did differently than a lot of people, we evaluated them. We made sure that we wasn't bringing another kid in, and we already had that kid in the building. We want to make sure that we wasn't running the kid out the building who was going to graduate in the spring. So because APR reasons. But, you know, you could say it's overall. We had to get better up front with the offensive defensive line because we lost all the offensive linemen to the portal, and I think all those kids are kind of starting wherever they went, you know. So we lost some good players in the portal on the offensive side, and we wanted to get better up front with the defensive line. So I think we did that.
One of the two players that you brought here today, one of them being quarterback Miles Crawley, and based upon some of the recruits that you brought in, there was some reason to believe that position might be up for grabs. Is he going into this season as your number one QB?
Well, right now, you know, Miles is separating himself right now, you know, for just the quarterbacks that's in. But, you know, Miles had an advantage. He's been in the system, you know, for the spring, and these kids are catching on. But we're going to continue to compete. We always say here at Grambling, our depth chart's written in sand. So you're going to come out to compete. He knows he can't have any down days because nobody can have any down days. I can't have any down days. The OC can't have any down days. So nobody at Grambling can have any down days. We got to come to get better every day.
Talk about some of the players that you've brought in that we could expect to hear during the course of the season. What are some names?
Well, you know, we brought a kid in from Mississippi State, Jacoby Belazard. I'm sure everybody know that he's here. A really explosive player. You know, and, you know, like you say, you're just getting to know some of these kids. You know, so we're trying to get to know them. And you know, we brought C.J. Henderson back. And he transfers in from Texas Southern. So we brought some kids in that we think can help us right away. But some of them just arrived. So we really don't know them like talking about because they hadn't been in a uniform. They've been in shorts. But we're going to do our best to make sure we get them caught up and get them ready for the season.
Coach, I'm a Grambling guy. I don't even try to hide it. And obviously it's been a while since a championship has been on Grambling's campus. But realistically, what should Grambling supporters expect out of you or out of this squad this season? Is it championship or bust, or should they just pretty much expect just a pretty substantial improvement from the previous year?
Well, like I said, we want to improve. You know, we want to improve. We want to clean up the discipline. We want to clean up the non-moving penalties. You know, and we want to play complete football in all three phases: offense, defense, and special teams. And we want to get this group to play together. And that's one of the problems that you have with the transfer portal, that, you know, you got to get them to play together because they don't know each other. They don't have a history. So it's something like the NFL, you got to sell an NFL model to them. It's like, hey, he has a family to feed, you have a family to feed, so let's do what's right for Grambling and let's get this thing back on the road.
Talk about some of your key players on the defensive side. What can we expect on that side?
Well, you know, you got Jacoby Scott back. You know, you have Andrew Jones at the linebacker position back. Quentin Talley's one of our leaders on our defense. Really like where he's at right now. You know, you got David Jones back. You know, so you do have some returning kids that we had to figure out exactly what they can do. You know, and right now, you know, we like where they're at. You know, we like the depth that's on that side of the ball.
Coaches talk about the three phases of the game: offense, defense, and special teams. Talk about special teams and what one can expect with respect to recruits, acquisitions, and so forth.
We're going to be very aggressive. We're going to be very aggressive on special teams. We're going to come after punts. We're going to try to run punts back. We're going to try to make sure we pull you up on when we punt the ball. And so we're going to work at it. We're going to meet. We're going to run. We're going to have walkthrough with it. We're going to work at it every day because that's you say special teams, so it's special, and we got to treat it as such.
And finally, Coach, with respect to overall philosophy, I understand you can't be held accountable for what the previous coaching staff did, but How difficult was it, if at all, was it for you to implement your coaching philosophy and expectations in terms of what you expect from the kids day in and day out and so forth?
Well, my thing is, if you don't do my way, then you won't be there. And they all understand that from 1 through 99. And I made that clear the first day. If you don't do it my way, you won't be here, and that goes for players and coaches. So it's going to be my vision. Is going to be what I think that we should do. You know, I'm always going to get input from the coaches and the players, but at the end of the day, it's my decision, and I think they understand that because I don't beat them with the pen. I tell them, you know, this is what you did wrong, this is what we're going to do, and then I move on. And I think so many kids these days are misunderstood, and nobody listens to them. So that's what I try to do. I try to do a better job of listening to them, and then I make a decision.
He's Grambling State University football coach, Mickey Joseph. Coach, thank you for taking a few minutes to talk to us.
Appreciate you having me.
All right, brother.